lasts forever. Everything has an expiry date. At least I can only think of one exception to that rule. Honey, apparently that lasts forever. And that's what I want to talk about today, how everything has some kind of shelf life, how everything will come to a time when it no longer serves its purpose. I am of the first wave Blu-ray Indigo generation. We're considered the early arrivals of Starseeds who are here to assist humanity. We didn't come here to fix things. When we arrived, the energy was way too dense for Indigo and subsequent generations to survive, and our work was to pave the way. So when those generations finally started to arrive in numbers, in many respects our work was done. Except a lot of us didn't realise that, and therein lies a major problem. We didn't understand that the shelf life of our initial work had expired. We'd completed what we'd originally come here to do, and so we settled down and continued with all the things that we knew well and had become comfortable with. Things that nowadays are fairly mainstream, such as readings and smudging, crystals, healing. But at that time, they were still considered weird and hippie-ish. Many of us had grown up in the 60s. But everything has a shelf life. There's a time of creation, of birth, of growth and maturity. And then it gradually fades away, gets superseded by the next cycle, or even implodes on itself. We've become long-lived in our comfort and confident in our way of life, and we taught the younger ones what we know. That's been the way that knowledge has been shared since forever. Except we now live in a world of high speed, where everything can be found, discovered, half understood, and all at our fingertips. So many of our youngsters, our newbie spiritual children, have forsaken the older and tried and tested methods of being taught, which can take many years. They've forsaken these methods in favour of the immediate gratification of the wonders available on the internet. And the result is the warping of knowledge. There is a twisting of truths to suit the experience of the neophyte, who then, believing that she's a master, starts to teach the next layer of newbies. And a neophyte teaching other neophytes is a dangerous combination. It's barely been a decade or two that generations of knowledge has been melted down, often into words that are most often blindly spoken, and the depths, the energy behind the words, simply not perceived. The power of attraction is one such thing. We know that we create our reality, but are we taking responsibility for creating this reality? The timeline we have been living through for the last couple of years, and will possibly be living through for the next 13,000 plus years. In the hands of neophytes who think they know all the answers, the power of attraction has become a method by which you can work towards visualizing all your dreams becoming true. The home, car, money, perfect partner, and the other things that many people dream of. But what is often forgotten is that it's not just our desires that we attract. Every aspect of our lives are affecting our reality. And it's not such a big leap to understand that the virus, vaccine, loss of freedom, loss of body autonomy isn't also a result of our powers as creators. Creating doesn't pick and choose. You can't be responsible for only creating the pretty stuff. I am creating my own reality. We say that, envisaging the perfect scenario we want to see in our lives. I am creating my own reality. Look about you and recognize what we, Starseed, have created on this planet. Just look at the reality we have created in these past 2 years. But, I hear you call out, I didn't create this mess. But, I say, yes you did. And so did I. Every one of us has played a part. Every thought, every word, every deed carries power. Every swear word you spoke, every piece of hatred, every finger pointed in judgment, every violent movie you watched, every time you were triggered by fear or took notice of advertisements telling you that you're just not good enough, every time you mockingly laughed at someone, walked past a homeless person or a disabled person or someone who was hurting and turned away, not wanting to get drawn in, every time you had the ability to help someone and didn't, every time you gave ego full reign. This is the shelf life that has to go. We have to let go of our refusal to take responsibility that we, together, created this mess. We need to own up to it. And we older Starseed must take the greater responsibility. We allowed knowledge into the world that the world was not ready to use safely. So how do we fix this? To be honest, I don't know that we can. But how can we not try? We Krones have been talking about not being able to separate the physical from the spiritual for one heck of a long time. And whether your focus over the past few years has mainly been on the physical side of the world or the spiritual realms, it doesn't really matter. What we need to do going forward is stop thinking of them as separate things. We cannot separate the physical from the spiritual. What we do in one realm affects all others. We know we have power. We know we are the creators of our reality. What we give focus to is what we use to create our reality. What we focus on, whether it's in the spiritual, emotional or mental realms, will become part of our physical reality. We have to start creating physically, intentionally, beneficently, knowingly, and stop just spouting words like love and light. That's just so fluffy now. It's become so overused, so mundane, that the strength and intention in those words have minimized, become negligible. Phrases like this no longer carry the energy that they used to, and the path has become harder. I have travelled into what many would call our future. I have travelled down this timeline we are currently on. I've travelled twice into the linear future of this timeline, and I do not want to go there again. I do not want my physical descendants to live in those times. I do not want to reincarnate into those times, but I will, and so will you. That's a given. If we stay on this path that so far we appear to have chosen, it will last for over 13,000 years, and we will reincarnate into that reality more than once. There's no going home, at least not until we clean up our mess. The shelf life of the reality we were all born into has expired, and a new reality is being birthed. It's being created from the thoughts, deeds, actions of every human on this planet. Every human is a part of the collective consciousness of humanity, and every human has a voice in how things move forward. Starseeds are playing a role, but the future timeline reality we will all travel is not only our responsibility. We are here to guide, remember, not to fix. What we can do is show the way. And we need to start by understanding our contribution to this birthing of a new reality, and do everything we can to make sure that beauty, kindness, compassion, and respect remain choices that human and starseed can make. So let's put a short shelf life on this current reality. Let's own up to our part in creating this current reality, and each of us, individually and collectively, do whatever we can to change things for the better. Let's help each other, support each other, not accept this discrimination and fear that's separating us. Let's not bow down to fear. Let's focus on the beauty in the world. Let's add to that beauty where we can. Let's stop allowing fear and anger to overwhelm us. Let's practice compassion. Let's focus on this current reality as having come to the end of its shelf life. Use that in the power of attraction. It's taught us many things about ourselves and given us many opportunities to rise above. Let's encourage the cycle to renew in the way that will move us off this timeline reality and onto a better pathway. Let's learn the lesson and move forward, and be so very wary of what we create in the future. Remember, flip the fear, find the bling. Thank you for joining me. I'm Krone Auri'An of the International Koalition of Krones. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and in the description below I will attach links so you can follow along in other formats. Take care. Gaisha-im.